Hello, everybody. Welcome
Ahoy!
to another episode of Galavants through Rashiva. Uh, welcome. Uh, if you've been paying attention at all, you might notice that the overlay is looking a smidge different than before, and that was because between this session and last session, uh, I my computer just stopped booting into Windows for some reason, and I had to reinstall it and thus wipe my C drive, which included my original OBS and all the assets for my D&D
Oh,
thing. So yeah,
that's rough.
I tried to match it as close as possible. Uh, we'll see how. I think I got it basically down pat. But yeah. Um. So yeah.
Damn. Who asked? Sorry, I'm being really mean today.
That was the day that Mara died of burn wounds. We couldn't get the liquid nitrogen to him in time.
Joke's on you, bitch. I'm resistant. Ha!
That only halves damage.
Okay. But, yeah, so that also means that my audio settings were fucked up also, so they look good looking at the bar, though I've found that to be not super reliable. So, if it sounds like garbage, please let me know so I can fix it. Thank you.
The stream is sounding okay right now, I think.
Alright.
Yeah.
Alright, what I should
Word.
ask for starting us off is, does anybody actually want to do the recap of what had occurred last session?
Oh yeah, last session, our poor innocent Lisa, our poor, religious but thumping, Jehovah's Witness Bible girl, did nothing wrong whatsoever, and will continue to do as such.
Alright,
Yeah,
who wants to tell
that's
the truth about the recap of last session?
I walked out, so.
So we finished up doing the stuff to emergency shutdown for the machine, and Lisa, being Lisa, was part due to just lack of information, just as a result of not having a sending stone, was doing some shit. But then we were able to finish that up, and we were concerned with the water still rising, so Barrett called in on his divine intervention, which succeeded, and he to ask his god to help with the situation, and he did. And then afterwards, guards came. Some of the guards came down to look around and talk about the situation and gather information. And the party, was able to eventually get a long rest after talking to the guards for a bit, and then we ended off last session with there being a heated or tense moment between Lisa and Gavin, because while the party was dealing with the emergency shut off. Val had was able to do something to return the Hammerlord's daughter to her body. However, she is now a dryad, or appears to be one, and yeah, and yeah. Lisa and Gavin are at odds with what was said, because Gavin told her what happened, and then Lisa interjected after a point because in disagreement about something after things were said.
If I can so interject, Lisa very specifically misunderstood Davin and misunderstood what he was talking about and thought he intended to use the princess as bait, which she disagreed with. Related to her, rather violently, more or less attacking him at one point.
Mm-hmm.
And if I correctly, we left off with Davin getting pissed off enough to go light Tampathy, all cursed up, wearing his wolf, and more or less ending after that point, after Beric had to use Tom emotions to prevent a full-on brawl on both sides.
Yeah, just at least prevent the immediate brawling between the two.
Beric prepping calm emotions is probably the smartest thing he smartest decision he does on the daily.
Yeah, no, after the first time of almost getting fucking got by Gavin Wolf the first time, he has made sure to have calm emotions perma prepared.
Yeah, it's both a safety precaution and also slightly personal.
Yes.
On a point of almost being, vivisected. No, disemboweled is the right word.
Yeah.
That one's going in the book.
What's going in the book?
It's a reference to the scene.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we ended off after. Right after Beric used calm emotions on the two, so they're now
squaring off effectively.
Yeah, they're still more or less squaring off, but they're not almost immediately gonna go into a fight about it, because both of them did fail to save for calm emotion, because he did not have enough time to let them know he was casting it. It was spur of the moment. I'm dropping this because I don't want to have to deal with this.
Mm.
So then we shall arrive at this moment of squaring off between party members. Tensions high. Beric, having just cast this spell, and the moment hanging in the air. Lisa, of course, with your blood still boiling from the misunderstanding and Gavin, I imagine, on edge from being unsure as to how his party member will or won't react, even with the calm emotions.
Am I still transformed, or did I
I believe it had been stated by myself last session that you had remained as Wolf, so we will keep to that, just for consistency's sake.
I'd like to point out this is also Lisa's first understanding that Gavin's a werewolf. Which I must ask, what does Lisa know about lycanthropy?
I don't know. Roll for it.
Would that be religion, history, or?
Yeah, I would say it would be just straight intelligence, because it's that would be based more off book learning.
So no telling if this is divine curse or anything. Got it.
This barbarian lady saying she kills unholy abomination. Night in a party with at least 3 people be considered unholy abomination.
That is a straight 19 because he has no modifier in this.
Good roll.
You know, big dog.
So, upon setting eyes on Gavin and his lycanthropic werewolf form, you recall to mind information you had learned about werewolves and other polythropic creatures. You had understood that they are creatures not so much cursed, but rather infected. An affliction of the bones, and although magical by its design, is something which is transmitted. You understand that it is likely not any choice of his to have become such.
So at least I would know this isn't anything you can get from like pissing off a god or anything like that.
Correct.
Alright, in that case, I don't think Lisa. Why are you eating rocks? What are you doing, dog?
I was really confused what you were talking about there for a second.
I'm sorry. My dog is doing something. You weirdo. In that case, I don't
That
think
dog
Lisa
found the
would.
Rock of Ages.
I'm sorry. I think Lisa, in this case, won't really mind it. If this was, a divine curse, something, a god or deity would curse you with, this would be a completely different story. But with the calm emotions, making what would have been a rage, outright hatred, because she has scratch marks from Gavin successfully succeeding on his own attack earlier. I imagine calm emotions is doing wonders from preventing her anger from reaching this boiling point.
Emotions, thinking rationally, probably also thinking, shit, he warned about this.
I think Lisa will stare down at this dog, Gavin. Insight to see what he might be thinking, sort of as he's wondering what she intends to do. Can she, in return, see what he might be thinking?
Roll for it and find out.
Would that be insight or animal handling?
I mean, he's still a conscious being, so insight.
The question is, Lana, on your end, which side is more conscious at the moment?
That is a 3.
I'm not sure that so much matters because yeah, Lisa's not going. That's dog.
That is a very angry dog.
Look at the little puppy.
Who's a good boy? Who's a good... I'm kidding.
The
Yeah.
Gavin Wolf, the giant horned dog man, seems mostly calm. You look at him, he's staring at you. As soon as you look at him, his hair just kind of raises on end slowly.
Lisa just sort of stare back, raise herself to her full height, sort of trying to like puff out her chest, sort of like not trying intimidating him back, but more or less trying to show, hey, if you try anything, I am more capable of fighting back. It is going to very slowly, eyes still firmly on Dav Wolf, start backing away.
Gavin Wolf, fully meaning to intimidate by what he can only, in his somewhat more addled state, believe as an intimidation display to a certain degree, also raises to his full height. His now full height of, what was it, 7.5 feet?
Something like that.
About 8.25 with the horns, which are also much larger and spikier.
Yes. All right. Who's attempting to make us speak?
Seeing this, Mara is just going to just move in between them, hold her arms out, be like, all right, let's just calm down. Nobody's fighting anyone right now. The fighting is over.
The wolf looks down at Mara, and the hair tones down.
Good.
And he gets down and kind of brushes his head into her hand, I guess.
Alright. Okay. And she sort of just strokes his head. Alright. It's okay. I know. Strokes his head! Strokes his head! Shut up!
Folks, this is just your friendly reminder, and a reminder to everybody that we should probably start this off every stream. This is not an entirely safe for anything really type of stream. Be warned upon viewing.
Yeah.
This
we
stream
are,
is
Oh, no.
not safe for children.
if you are not old enough to vote in the United States of America, then get the fuck out.
This man's over here asking.
Nah, get out unless you're old enough to drink. You might need to.
I mean, we are, so you know.
I'm not.
Oh,
You
okay,
might
some of
be.
us are.
I'm a good little boy. I would never drink any alcohol ever.
Ha!
Never ever.
Yo,
Never,
seen
ever.
these? But for real, on my end?
Yeah, you joke about that, but actually... No, I don't like the taste of alcohol, so...
Fair. But,
All right.
yeah. So.
With our Gavin Wolf somewhat calmed, Lisa, you do see our good tiefling stood between you and this lichen, who seems indeed to calmly respect her and her wishes.
No. Yeah, I think with that, Lisa will go mostly quiet, sort of walk her way back into the table and sit down back on it. Now just sort of watching the party.
Marv gives out a sigh of relief that we didn't get another another big fight immediately. Okay, all right.
It is at this also that the complement of dwarven soldiers and guardsmen that are around you equally lower their weapons and seem to chill out. Most of them electing to go back to their business, since you all seem to know what you're handling.
Who's bathing?
I'm sorry, I'm using the sink over here in the basement, so I'm making some water noise. It's my fault. I had a glass to rinse out.
Mara, kill him.
Okay, so as well as a reminder, you guys do have the Dwarven King. I believe you had effectively let out the news of the Hammerlord's daughter getting herself murdered, and had also received confirmation from her as to what had happened.
Yep.
So interesting thing. Werewolves, when they transform, their equipment either melds in with their body or drops to the ground, to the floor. Which would include the Hammer Lord inside the bag of holding. So which one of those is it?
Oh, do you not give them? Oh, did you not give?
No, he was in the bag of
them
holding.
the orbs.
No. And that polymorph is probably, long off.
Yeah.
He's just a
He just
regular
crawls
ass
out the bag of holding.
I'm not sure he could. The bag of holding only opens so far on its own. Someone would have to do the, invert, fold it out so everything blasts out.
Now, you were asking if items mold into the transformation or if they all drop off, correct?
In this case, yes. Because also that means, depending on your answer, Gavin will or will not be clothed when he retransforms.
I would say, based on how Potato and I have already designed some of the world, I think it makes more sense that articles of clothing and items would mold with the transformee. So, therefore, you will be clothed when you return from your transformation.
Okay. So, in other words, there's no way for us to give the Hammer Lord any more air.
Yeah, unless
He is melded into me.
Symbionic.
So
Titan,
yeah,
only on
no,
Cartoon Network.
unless the bag of holding dropped specifically, there would no longer be a hole, open for air, so he would be suffocating.
He would still have the however many minutes of air, right?
It's like what, like 10 minutes or something.
So we just gotta.
might actually be closer to 1 minute.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't imagine a rat takes that much air to
No,
breathe.
polymorph would have dropped by now.
Especially when-
But yeah,
Polymorph
we
lasts
did
a
have
minute, Koga.
yeah, and we did spend a long rest down in the area.
Yeah. So.
I would say you guys could speak to Gavin, and if any one of you is able to reach him, he could willingly drop, air quotes, the bag of holding.
Magic is weird.
Yes, Lisa stands up and begins to engage in talk. I'm kidding.
It's like
She just starts the argument again.
So Lisa spends the rest of her campaign no longer having a face.
I think Barrack would probably be like, now that things have calmed down, at least for the moment, between Gavin, Wolf, and Lisa, he'd probably, move from where he was and kind of just look over to Gavin Wolf and be like, with how sudden your transformation was, considering what was in the bag of holding, Gavin, would it be possible for I know it's probably going to be a moment before you're able to change back, so would it be possible for you to at least drop the bag of holding?
What do I roll to get that?
I'd make it just a flat wisdom.
Not intelligence.
Because you're trying to basically speak around the wolf, or even think around the wolf.
Not charisma.
Not in this case, because you're already calmed on emotions.
Mm.
So it's just kind of wrangling your brain think.
8.
I was gonna have it be a 10, but yeah, since I had set it as a 10, I'm gonna say that's not gonna be enough. So it, like, you personally hear Barrack, and you kind of try and wrangle your thinking to get there to the thought. It's not like you keep, how you're standing in a hallway, and you step to the left, but the other person steps to their right. So you just kind of keep stepping in front of each other.
The wolf kind of just cocks its head slightly, quizzically.
No, Barrack just sighs and is just like, Mr. Wolf, would it be alright if the other half of you, Mr. Gavin, is able to come forth for a moment?
That's an interesting question, and I have nothing to say on that personally. That's I am breaking up so much. Give me a moment. I wouldn't know where to go from there personally. DM.
Okay, can you ask your question again?
Barrick is trying to speak to the wolf to convince it to allow
Yeah.
Gavin through.
At least for the moment.
Okay. So for you, Barrick, I'll have you do charisma.
Anything in particular, or just straight charisma?
Just straight.
That is total 14.
Gavin, as you're standing there, kind of mentally in that hallway, you see the wolf kind of look over its shoulder, look at you, and actually step up against the wall, like with its back to the wall.
Immediately going to the door.
And Barrick will, after a moment, will just be like, just be like, if possible, thank you, Mr. Wolf.
How much control does Gavin have? Is it full or?
Not full, but you could move your head. You could speak. You could maybe like rearrange how you were sitting. But it's kind of like you try and do anything else, and it's like you kind of feel like the handlebars pulled away, and when you stop trying to actually move, you feel them handed back to you.
What?
Gavin, since you did change so suddenly, I do believe all of your stuff melded with you, and
That's how it
considering
works.
apparently, so considering what was in the bag of holding,
DM, can I conjure that up?
As I already stated, that would be something that effectively, like this is the purpose, is trying to give you enough reins that you can try and do that. So as you attempt to, yes.
Okay,
It doesn't
I'm
so
gonna
much appear like in your hand as much as it appears like in
Oh.
your mouth.
I was about to say, can I flavor this? But yeah, no, just. Right in the barracks hands.
thank you, and then Barrick will immediately just open it up like a bit so that air can flow back. And
I'm for intentional regicide if justified, not unintentional. And in this case, it's not my say.
unfortunate. And looks to the rest of the party and is just like, including Gavin as, Gavin Wolf. Since it's likely been a moment since he's been in there, do we want to keep them still in the bag of holding, or do we want to check on him.
You could open it up enough for his head to poke out, but unless you fold it out, he ain't coming out of there. Too thick.
Yeah, like Barrick nods and looks to the rest of the party.
We need to speak to him, so
Yep. So at the very least, give him enough room so that he could have his head out.
yeah. And air at the least.
Yeah. Mara, Zerzin, Lisa.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about me opening this bag of holding enough so that, someone's head could pop out? A certain person's head can come out, because we do need to talk to them.
Well, what else are we gonna do?
Well, for what it matters on my behalf, I don't really care, but if his head is out, and if he tries to speak any blasphemies, or tries to cast a spell upon us, well, his head will no longer be in the bag, it will be on the ground.
You will do no such thing, and you will not speak of blasphemies, blasphemer.
Right, but you're one to speak.
I am. You jump to conclusions.
Indeed I did, and for that I do apologize. For what it's worth.
And for what it's worth, there is bait involved in my plan. It's not her.
Lisa will pause for a moment, and then simply nod. Very well then.
You and I, after all this, will have a very stern, private, talking together.
Right. Hopefully when you're in more befitting form.
I don't mean after. Gavin kind of gestures to form. I mean after all of this is over. And quite frankly, I'm going to say this now because I'm calm-ish. Once this situation is resolved, we need to take a moment and sit down to breathe. Or I'm going to kill the next someone who does something. One world-ending disaster after another, after another, after another. We need rest. And to gather ourselves.
And meanwhile, as that's happening, Barrick will look over to Zerzin and be like, "You good with me? Given
Zerzin's not in the room right now.
Mods kill her. I'm kidding.
I mean, if you guys have, if any of you have even the slightest amount of basic perception skills, you would probably be able to see the unmistakable footsteps of her Colossus leading out of the room looking pretty fresh.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say the unmistakable lack of Zerjan in the room.
I mean that too, I guess.
I like the idea that not a single one of us heard this hulking tank just waltz out.
I mean, in
Colossus isn't
fairness,
really
Punk,
that
punk.
huge. Also, you guys were focused on this fucking fight or whatever.
I think Zerzan went that way.
Yeah, actually, let's drop in on Zerzan for a moment. What have you actually stepped out to do? I know that you were well aware of how heated that argument was getting. You'd seen the various dwarven soldiers basically aiming their weapons toward the fight maybe to happen that has thankfully been averted.
I don't know.
Well, I'm trying to think. I mean, she stepped out of the room, but it wasn't for very long. Honestly, at about this point, she would probably be just walking back in, I think. Because she really just left to talk to some people for a few minutes.
Okay. Anybody in specific? And what about?
I mean, I feel like that's something that they would figure out through talking to me, wouldn't it?
It was her mother. She was asking when the pie was going to be done.
I mean, I can say it doesn't really matter. I just feel like that's the kind of information to be learned in character through character conversation.
Speaking of
Wow.
character, through... Oh, wait, no. She would have... Yeah, Zerzan would have seen Gavin Wolf form before.
I think so.
Yeah.
It was the
Well,
second
what I
time
wonder
seeing...
is, like,
Hello there.
I'm trying to ask, like, what sorts of thing, like, what is the conversation that you're having, and with whom? Because then, yes, we absolutely can roleplay that out if you did have someone selected to converse with. Like, was Zerzan looking for anyone in particular?
Anna, we did this over text. This has already been done. The conversation has already happened.
Ah! Just say that more explicitly next time.
I thought you remembered.
No?
You were there.
no.
I mean,
No, he
I
does not
do remember, but
Uh,
until that bridge is... Hang on a moment, Koga. Consider neurons like a drawbridge. Until the appropriate connective signals have been achieved, I'm not actually going to connect the neurons that contain that memory until it's necessary.
It's fair, I guess. But yeah, we
Lana,
already
the
did this.
perfect example of, amazing, fantastic short-term memory.
Indeed. Okay, continue there, please, Zers.
I was nothing. I guess since that conversation had already taken place, which I have it pulled up off to the side right now.
Yes, I do remember it. Just like I say, you had to give me enough to actually connect that memory.
But yeah, she would. As you look over to talk to her, Barrick, you would like just see her start walking back into the room. She just kind of glances up, looks around, like, between everyone. She's like, "Are we done killing each other now?
Hopefully for the moment.
Can we all behave like adults?"
Some of us can. Let's hope for the best.
What the hell is going on?
I get. From what I gathered from the conversation between Lisa and Gavin, there was a bit of a miscommunication between the two of them.
She just puts her head in her hands and just sighs. Mumbles something
Right,
under her breath.
It's a human slur.
Fucking Umies. You fucking tall folk.
Speaking of which, we were currently deciding whether or not to allow the king to speak. And related to that, I believe I should leave the room for this. I don't trust myself to not behead the man should he speak ill of the gods.
Oh, I mean,
Or any
he's got
blasphemy for that matter.
information. He's got information, and we need information. So I feel like it would probably be a stupid idea to not let him talk.
All right. Since everyone's in agreement for at least that, I guess Beric says that he will at least open up the bag large enough so that his head can, the Hammerlord's head can come through and probably go ahead and like stick his hand in that, at least to just like kind of like potentially give that
Pull him out by the
indication.
beard.
Okay, so you are
Yeah, and
permitting him to at least make an appearance.
Yes, at least his head.
He immediately
Okay.
casts Power Word Kill. No.
So, you open the. Who is doing the opening, actually?
Beric, because it isn't in his hands. After
It's very wet.
yeah.
Okay, you Barrick, are holding the bag of holding. You open it, and after holding it open for a second, he pops his head out, and he just is there, kind of going, is about all he's doing at the moment, as he's just sort of enjoying regularity of deep breaths.
As much as it smells like, dog breath.
I mean, largely, cave smell is balancing out any other aroma, so it's just kind of like damp
Cave
stone
smell.
all around.
I want a candle that smells like cave smell.
I'd kill for that. That'd be good.
What is cave smell?
Moss and moist stones.
Yep. Pretty much. With like a hint of minerals.
It sounds like it could be moldy, but also somewhat refreshing.
Yeah, and Beric's just gonna let him take a moment for the deep breaths.
Once his bearings have been achieved, he looks between each one of you, and although he glares, he doesn't bother to make any sort of a move. His expression only asks, "What have you given me this reprieve for?" Although he speaks nothing.
Beric just sighs and looks to the rest of the party, and then looks at the Hammerlord. From the sounds of it, there's a few questions we would like to ask you.
He nods.
And Barrick will kind of indicate towards the rest of the party that it's like floor is yours, guys. So.
Oh, yeah? What you got, Koga?
Hello, hi. Hello, hi, yes, hello. So I've been going off the assumption that the Dwarven King has, in fact, committed blasphemy. What with, draining Fey children, mutating his dead daughter into this living, tree entity. Does Lisa actually know if that counts as blasphemy against any of the deities?
Roll a religion.
Also, didn't
Yay!
Lisa
Like the one thing she did at, that's not physical.
Didn't she also walk out? As to
No,
not.
this is more like general information.
That's fair.
This is a more general expression.
But it's still fair that, while she's thinking away from the. Because,
She knows it's super blasphemous, so she just runs back and punches him in the face. I'm kidding. She doubles down.
What did you do that for? You looked like you were thinking blasphemy.
Inquisition moment.
That is a 19.
Lisa, straight out of Warhammer.
So first of all, you are aware that this could specifically be seen as a slight against the Lord of Life, Zetos. However, you are also aware that your patronage is sworn to your deity. So although it is indeed a slight against another god, you are aware that one's fealty should be placed on a single deity. So, yes, he has committed some act against a god, but not specifically yours.
It is still not only a god, but, you have said yourself, the most important, highest of the hierarchy deity.
He is one of the two prime of the good pantheon. That much is definitely true. And is one of the three most powerful deities.
Yeah, I think Lisa might not, directly pray to, the light god, but more general, throwing out her thoughts to inform this man. Maybe not actual prayer, but hey, yeah, sin against you, my guys. And then, as sort of also afterwards, send an actual prayer to her specific deity, to Claire, to more or less, hey, he did this thing that's pretty bad.
Alright, so what are you going to do with that information? I mean, more specifically.
Well, I already said he's going to inform the deity he blasphemed against, first and foremost, and then send that information directly to her patron deity.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm going to roll for a moment thus for herself, like independently. Let's see.
All right.
I'm
You go
going
ahead and
to
do that. I'm
roll.
going to ask everybody else what they are going to be doing with the Hammerlord. Go ahead and type me out your results and what you're going to follow that with, please. I will ask, first of all, let's hear from Val. Are you going to ask the Hammerlord anything?
I don't think so. I don't think he has anything to ask as of right this second. My brain is also still in hard shifting mode into role playing Val. So I would appreciate a few minutes.
Okay. We'll
So
move
for
over
now,
to Mara
he's letting-
next. Oh, unless you had something more to respond with.
Nope, I am more than perfectly comfortable with letting everyone else go before Val.
Cool.
All right, no one do anything to force Val into the spotlight now.
Hey Val, what do you think? No.
Everyone looks
Woody?
directly at Val.
Woody,
Yeah,
don't make me bring the Lich.
you can't scare me. I'm desensitized to it at this point.
I don't know about that.
Are
I'll
you?
find more sexy Liches.
Jesus. All right, moving swiftly along.
Was there anything on Mara's end?
Hopefully you're not muted.
No. Mara would probably not be able to add anything would probably not be able to add anything to the situation, so she is also just going to let others handle it.
Okay, so Mara stares blankly at the Hammerlord. And I will next ask Zers if you get anything to add.
All right, you're gonna have to forgive me for being a little zoned out today. What was the last thing the Hammerlord said? Or did he say anything yet?
He's
you-
kind of waiting for what people were gonna ask him about because
Yeah, effectively with facial expression, he said to the party, "You guys have an open forum to ask me. I'm not gonna fight you."
His last quote was deep breathing.
His last quote was, let me see here. I do have something, but I'm trying to figure out how to phrase it, or if now is the right time to even ask it.
So, like, would you like to know more of the? Oh, like what you looking for there? I'm just trying to be able to give you as much as I can.
Yeah, no, I'm looking back to the discussion Zers had with the dwarven guy in our text chat back and forth that one time. And so I'm trying to figure out I have a question I want to ask in relation to that. It's just trying to figure out how to phrase it, I guess. Zerzan Zerzan would have like her weapon ready to go. Like very firmly grasped in the hand of this colossus. She is not a very happy person. And she glares at the Hammer Lord. She's like, "Where did the fairies come from?"
Okay, so would you be able to repeat the just the last couple of words you spoke? Like, I heard you were grasping your weapon and that
Oh.
you were like prepared.
Yeah. She just glares at him and just asks very bluntly, very seriously. She's just like, "Where did the fairies come from?"
He smiles and he makes a small chuckle, but after what appears to be a moment's internal deliberation, he looks and says, "Through a deal made. I made the deal. They were procured for me. I made payments. I suppose you could say it was done through the criminal underworld. The underbelly which runs across Rashiva."
Give me names. Who did you contact?
I wasn't given true names. I was given all coded nonsense. But you might find something from it if you're looking. I know one just went by Mr. Fishing Pole, another just went by Mr. Watcher, and another just went by Mr. Cap. I believe I could tell you one of them was one of those elves from the deep mazes, the drow, are they? I think that was one of them. I think that was Mr. Fishing Pole, yes.
Real quick, out of character, it was Mr. Fishing Pole, Mr.
Watcher and Mr. Cap.
Alright, thank you.
What's the world opinion on Drow in Rashiva?
They are largely an unknown. They live in the deep mazes, a theorized to be infinite series of tunnels which exist deep enough down that even most dedicated miners never come across them. But they are said to be where the Maze Queen, the ruler of the Drow, lives, where she instills her darkened rule.
Do they have any sort of good or bad reputation, or is it just nobody knows?
It is known that people are found to have tattoos on them which have specific restrictive qualities on the individual. And it is known that Drow are largely the creators of such effectively imprisonment tattoos, the secrets to which are tied into their deity, who I'd say Lisa and Barrick would know about this, that one of the daughters of Ophelia and Zetos had originally been their darling child, who rebelled against them, and she was sealed within the core of Rashiva, bound with tattoos which sealed every aspect of her being. She broke free of them, and in so doing, conquered the very nature of those bindings, teaching them to her corrupted children. From this, the great underground maze which she had been sealed within became the seat of her throne. And legend tells that if there is any dark plot in Rashiva, it's possible that she had a word in settling it in someone's mind.
I'm gonna put it in lazy notes for lazy tieflings.
Now, Lisa or Barrick, if you guys want to relay some of that information, that'll be up to you to roleplay that out.
Well, Lisa stepped away. So it'd be up to Barrick, and I know I think I dropped for like a little bit of that explanation, so because internet.
Hold on. Probable.
Yeah.
You got something there, Koga?
He's typing.
Oh yeah, he's typing.
That's true. It would be up to you.
Okay.
She returned. I mean, if you did have to step out for a bit, we'll say that Lisa is off to the side and not presently
Yeah.
engaged. That seems reasonable enough.
This stream brought to you by Ray Shatner.
Oh, goodness gracious, no.
That's right. It's brought to you by Audible.
So we'll bring it back to Gavin. Do you want to attempt to ask anything, or will Gavin be more keeping calm?
How much can the Hammer Lord see? Can he see his daughter or anything like that? Has he noticed her at all? In fact, what is she doing? I don't remember.
I believe she's presently unconscious. She'd fainted from information dump.
Mm. Hammer Lord hasn't seen Wolf Gavin. So, yeah. Your daughter lives.
He turns to look at you with a raised brow.
I'm the Black Tiefling.
He looks up and down, and for a moment thinks to question, but decides he's just going to believe you for the time being.
Trust me, I don't know how it happened either. Trying to get to the bottom of that. But your daughter does live. Not as she was. She is something close to a dryad now.
He nods. It's a softer, slower action. Like he's accepting that information.
So for a moment while that bit of conversation was going on, Zerzhin is like she didn't like walk away, but pacing. She's like pacing back and forth. And eventually she comes back to within like inches of the Hammer Lord. And she's holding the Morning Star in the hand of the Colossus, and it is like shaking. And she's like, why did it have to be kids? Why did the fairies have to be children?
How closely are you getting to him?
She's her face is within like a foot of his. Like she is getting down to glare him in the eye.
Okay. He makes a glare of his own. He looks you up and down. Says, you're of magically inclined sort. Think about it. Magical beings often are at their most powerful, especially natural ones, when they are at their youngest. It's most effective to draw power from something like a fairy when they are very young, when their magic is raw, when they have less control over it and can restrict it less. Plain and simple, functionality.
What about the people you kidnapped?
Test subjects.
The children. Why were they children?
More unfortunate test subjects.
Was it worth it to you? To stain your soul like that? She could have been brought back by one of us. By Barrack here. You wouldn't have had to have gone to such lengths.
I have my reasons.
As he says that, Mara sort of fires off a firebolt, not fireball, firebolt, in such a way that it just flies right past his head.
Oops, you failed the dex check. You actually hit him. He's on fire now.
At least I'm back till I'll reset her now.
I wish Koga was real.
Yeah, so do I.
I can still hear his voice.
The accident wasn't your fault, Mara. It's okay.
You gotta wake up. Koga's been dead for 20.
Ilana,
Ayo.
I gotta run and pick up Trenton from work. So I will be disappearing, and you guys can either continue on without me, or Val has stepped away.
I feel like it's fair enough to say that Val is in deep thought. That was already seeming to be your stance on Val's interactions.
Val
Yeah.
turns to stone.
But anyways, I will be back.
I don't know.
Okie dokie.
Lisa will speak. Your people, the Gorn. They follow the God of Knowledge, do they not?
He nods.
And yet, instead of beseeching him for an answer, a way to bring her back, something a multitude of gods to do, including the very one I followed, you committed the idiocy of blasphemy. Did you not even try to pray to your deity?
I already knew it was knowledge I would not receive.
Did you not? So you did not even try.
And be told an answer I'd already know? It isn't for mortal minds to learn.
I myself am not a very clever woman. And yet my God entrusted me the knowledge of how to bring her back. Gave me the promise he knew how. And yet you lacked your faith of your entire people's deity to entrust to you the very same. You're working with another blasphemer, blasphemed against the highest order of deity, and committed an unspeakable taboo. Was damning your soul worth everything? Was possibly damning hers worth it?
Hers was not in question. That much.
And how do you know
I
that?
knew. Ended in innocence is seen in the realm of Ophelia as something to be given grace to. I've learned enough from humanity and their fanatical belief in life and death and their adherence to such that much could be trusted.
Lisa is just gonna simply shake her head and then look to the others. After we leave this season to his fate, I would like to discuss to you what I know of the Maiden of the Endless Maze.
Sounds good.
The sin of the intelligent.
Is assuming knowledge they do not possess.
And the pride that comes with their intelligence makes them think they are right, no matter what. I learned this long ago.
More eloquently than I would put it.
Your arrogance knows no bounds, Hammer Lord.
Perhaps.
You know not. what answer you will be given until you ask. Any assumption you make is your own pride.
He turns his head away, dismissive of this, and focuses his attention back on Zerzan for a moment. They all seem on the side of merely damning me for my actions, but you seem to have a particular level of zealotry against me. What for?
The hand that is not holding anything, the hand that is not holding anything folds into a fist, and begins to shake. You hear an extremely loud whistling sound from the steam engine that's in the Colossus. You hear the sound of ropes snapping, a bolt goes flying through the air, and that entire arm falls limp. And she just goes, "They were children, you monster! I should crush your head like a goddamn watermelon for what you've done here. You had access to all of this knowledge, the knowledge to build this fantastic machinery, and you use it for this? What is wrong with you?"
Despite our, I don't want to say calm demeanor, but held back. Trust me when I say all of us are as zealotous as her on this matter. Where I come from, there is a religious belief. But whoso shall offend one of these little ones, it were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck, and he were drowned in the depth of the seas.
If it were up to me, every last bit of your brain matter would be stuck to the end of this morning star. If I were a less rational person, I would have done it already.
If Val hadn't come in and said to not kill you, I would have. We all would have. We would have drawn and quartered you, torn you limb from useless, pathetic limb, and enjoyed your screams. I've done it before.
Quite frankly, the only reason I have not slain you here and now is not to Davin. He hasn't told me not to keep my emotions inside. It is not mine to get revenge upon. At least, not yet. I do hope you enjoy answering to the gods once you die, though.
You will be handed over to your own people. They will decide what to do with you. Though I'm sure all of us have our creative suggestions.
You're sick. I can't believe someone like you could really exist. Someone so lacking in any form of empathy.
I understand pain, sorrow. I understand doing things you might regret while in that. I understand being heartbroken over the loss of someone that you love. But to hurt this many innocent people in the process is unforgivable.
To secure a nation's future, I see that there is no price too high to pay.
Then you're a fool, and you should never have been given the mantle of leadership for an entire people.
Have
Weren't
Any more
dwarves?
questions?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Weren't dwarves a slave race at one point? And yet you choose to inflict some of that pain on other people by capturing them, holding them against their will, performing sick, twisted experiments on them? I think that's probably part of the reason why I have so much hatred for you. Knowing that my people have gone through something similar, and that yours have gone through something similar, and yet you turn around and do that anyway? You disgust me. If I have to hang around your pitiful face any longer, I'm gonna tear it off. I spit on his face and then I walk away. Specifically, I walk towards the machinery and stuff that is in this room, and I'm gonna try my best to inspect it, but I'll let those kind of rolls take place after other people are done talking.
Using her hyperfixation to take her mind off things.
Yes, for autistic hyperfixation.
Do not let this goblin around trains.
I'm Zerson would go wild over modern construction equipment.
Oh.
If I'm not constantly studying, the voices get loud.
Oh.
The big bad's name?
Yeah, I can't remember his name for the life of me. It's on the tip of my tongue.
Evan, or
Calvin.
Yeah.
Hold on a
Calvin-
second there.
Alvin.
Calvin Emmanuel.
Alvin. Sorry, I had a joke.
Man
playing,
literally
thinking of
named
his name.
himself God.
You
Oh, yeah,
can't stop me,
there's also the
Alvin. I'm
secondary-
4 certified.
yeah, there's also the secondary BBEG. I think his name was Gavin or something. Tiefling guy.
Ah.
Really weird looking.
What a dork.
Mm.
Anyway, imagine being named Gavin. What a dweeb. Sorry. Anyway, let's continue.
I know all of your weaknesses, fools.
But yes, anyway.
Yes. Zerz's weakness is a lot of free time and a screwdriver and access to our Colossus.
She will actually, though, she has like stepped away, and she will both be inspecting the machinery that's around and also performing repairs.
Okay. Which machines are you looking at in particular?
I guess she's mostly, at least right now, she's mostly interested in the consoles that were all around the room, how they work, and how they're connected to the big giant tank thing in the middle of the room. Stop dying.
Okay.
I cast Cure Wounds on Lana.
Oh
Didn't
my.
work.
Stop dying.
Critical
Okay.
fail.
So, as you're, you effectively take your mind away from, I really want to found Blend Tech and make the entire commercial series Will It Blend, starting with this guy's head.
That's about right.
As you are looking at the consoles, which
Oh.
Oh,
Oh, well,
Nope, no,
hey,
it's just
my
Val. It's
area.
fine.
What the hell, man?
It inactivity. It's fine. Keep going.
now because he got
Alright.
moved over to a different channel.
yeah. With certain inactivity settings, you can have people automatically kicked to basically an inactivity channel.
Oh.
Happens to me sometimes.
Yeah.
While I'm waiting alone in the server. For anyone, my friends.
I didn't know that was a thing. Neat.
Yeah. Okay, so as you're looking at this, we'll have you roll Arcana. I'll absolutely be giving you like some general information that you can just determine, but this will
Okay.
be like how much in depth this will go.
Okay. That is a modified 23.
Cool.
Big brain.
Seeing this machinery, your mind is immediately filled with, what's this? What's this?
Something.
And are pulled into. Yeah, we're not going to be going any further than that for
Sorry.
the sake of non-copyright detection.
Sorry. I couldn't help myself. Please continue.
Always
Yeah.
remember, you can do the tune so long as you change the lyrics.
Anyways, you're able to determine just right away, without the Arcana roll, that this is a control mechanism. You look at it, and it provides the governance for how the chemical mixture, for how the temperature is controlled. You're pretty readily able to find that there's a ventilation system, air pressurization to change how the internal atmosphere of this tank is operated. What does seem odd, and for which I will actually pull you aside for just a moment. So,
Whoa.
Oh goodness.
Oh boy.
We're here before he is. Oh, never mind.
there we go.
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello. Alrighty, so you are able to determine that some of this does not appear to be of any Rashivan origin whatsoever. As I presume you begin actually, like, kind of taking panels off to, like, really get into the meat and guts of it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, as you're looking in here, you're looking at that, and that isn't a metal that you are aware exists. Nor is that a component that you recognize at all. That thing is way smaller than any functional device you have any awareness of. That's not operated by gears, cogworks, or steam at all. That thing is far colder than even magic. Like you notice one specific component, and the moment you lean in and start to breathe, you see the moisture from your breath crystallizing.
I very carefully reach out to touch it to see just how cold it is, like if I can safely pick it up.
Once your finger makes contact, you take 1d4 cold damage.
Alright, that's 3 points of damage.
Like, you touch it, and it feels like that cold has shot up your arm to your elbow. You feel it in the very bone for the absolute bare second that you have made contact with it. And, like, you quickly hold your finger up to your mouth to encourage warmth by breathing over it. And you can see that, while thankfully there's no frostbite, that layer of skin's probably gonna peel.
So I'm trying to think. I have an idea that might not be the smartest decision, but I still want to give it a try.
Okay.
So I know this is supposed to be a reaction spell, but can I cast Absorb Elements to safely handle it?
I mean, you would be casting it as a reaction upon touching it, so that would be perfectly within its functionality.
Cool. Alright, so now I'm holding this thing. I would like to use one of my infusions on this and turn it into my homunculus servant.
Describe how that works?
You learn intricate methods for magically creating a special homunculus that serves you. The item you infuse serves as the creature's heart, around which the creature's body instantly forms. You determine the homunculus's appearance. Some artificers prefer mechanical-looking birds. The homunculus is friendly to you and your companions. It obeys your commands. See this creature's game statistics in the homunculus servant stat block, which uses your proficiency bonus in several places. In combat, the homunculus shares your initiative count, but it takes its turn immediately after yours. It can move and use its reaction on its own, but the only action it takes on its turn is the dodge action, unless you take a bonus action on your turn to command it to take another action. The homunculus regains 2d6 hit points if the mending spell is cast on it. If you or the homunculus dies, it vanishes, leaving its heart in its space. I have the stat block for everything pulled up right now.
My honest reaction to you asking me that.
What? It's called science.
Alrighty, we're gonna jump back into general for this one.
Woo!
Sounds good. Let's do this. Fellas.
Ugh.
Jurgen, what did you do?
I have a feeling you're about to find out.
Oh no! Did he do? Did
So
he fuck? Did he
let-
fuck
let
with
me-
a battery?
Called science.
So you you all see Zerzan Walk away. Zerzan is gone for, like, what? A minute? 2 minutes max?
I would say several, since I was taking my time to inspect each of the elements that I was looking at.
Okay, we'll say like 10 minutes.
So do we have time to say a few things before then?
Yeah, I'll let you have that. I'll let you have that.
Why I didn't?
So, yes, if you have anything to ask one another, please go ahead and do so.
Merrick, what have you to say to this fool?
Like Barrick is kind of like looks back, over, and he's just like, there is so much I want to say, but holy fuck, I'm just gonna refrain from saying it, if only for the fact of it's not pretty.
There's not enough cuss words in the human language to use against you. Parents are speaking Dwarvish.
There's not enough words in the English language, so I'll use the Dwarven language instead.
But
Cue Scottish cursing from Samurai Jack.
Cali Britati!
but fuck, I know there was something I was wanting to say while you guys were out of game, like in the other column, but I forgot it now. It's like, fuck. It is something that Barrick would think to ask, but player brain went no.
In the meantime.
Oh no.
Oh.
Alright. God.
Alright. Yeah, so Mara sort of walks up to the Hammer Lord, and she suddenly shifts into her half-dragon form as she grabs the Hammer Lord by the head, sort of digging her claws into it, and she just stares.
Let Mara finish real quick.
Let her cook.
Him.
You are so lucky. I have dedicated my life to saving lives instead of ending them. Because every bone in my body is screaming at me to do unspeakable things to you. Be glad you have that much. And she lets go, steps back, and turns back to normal.
Okay. Did you wish to finish there, Gavin, or
It was just kind of a shocked, whoa. But
Calm down.
after
there,
that, Gavin will Hammer Lord, have you any idea who it was who killed your daughter in the first place?
no? But I trust you did discover it. He says while kind of wincing with one eye closed as you can see rivulets of blood trickling down his face from where Mara had grabbed hold.
Genevieve Andrus. A bodyguard. You were right about one thing. He serves that murder goddess. Where did he come from?
Well, he came from his house that has long since been trusted by the royal lines. It's effectively what his house made their name from. Being guardsmen. It's what he and his family have done. They exist as guards for many noble houses. Here, the higher dwarven families, I suppose, is what I should be calling them. They aren't nobles in the senses that elves, humans, or other peoples would understand.
Well, that gives us a lead. We have an idea of how to catch him. Killing him is another matter, but in the event that he escapes, or that there's more of them, we have a place to look for clues.
As he goes to answer, as he opens his mouth, from where Zerzan had stepped off, you guys all hear this.
Mm.
That's if Discord will
Call
actually-
Boomy.
There we go. You hear this? Followed by this. Quite loudly at that.
Lisa is immediately from neutral stance to panic dog and immediately looking around for the source of this loud ass noise.
Scared.
But heresy.
Lisa is definitely a German Shepherd.
Indeed. Indeed.
Then what's Gavin?
Scary.
A cat.
Yeah, Gavin's over there. He's like one of the, Russian brown or gray wolves.
A Caucasian Ovcharka.
A fucking
Is
what?
that actually what they're called?
Yeah, they're really big, really scary dogs bred in Russia to hunt bears.
Dope.
That sounds about right.
So, what does Lisa see when she looks around?
What do we all see?
So, what you see is a magical spark in the instant that that loud crash had occurred. And then you see the metals of these consoles being sucked into and drawn in, almost like gravitationally being compressed down into a single point as it begins to form limbs, as it begins to form a bodily shape. And Mara would be the first to recognize this, as it begins to shape itself in much the same physical form as her very own Squiggy.
Or Squirpy, or whichever 8 million of them there are that have the same name. Oh no.
Or what?
I will let Mara describe, provided Mara remembers. Otherwise, I can.
8-legged spider robot thing.
That's an extremely vague description.
And that's about all I remember, so.
I feel like saying 8-legged spider's pretty redundant.
I thought they were more like. I thought it was more like a centipede design.
No, that's just what you thought.
Repeatedly.
Well, actually, my headcanon surpasses your headcanon, so.
It sounded like you were in a really distant tunnel for a second there, which was really funny. Like you're shouting at us from the other side of a traffic tunnel.
It's fine. I initially was envisioning them as basically the Guardians from
I lucked in.
fucking Breath of the Wild, but gold.
So this is the closest reference picture that I've been able to find that is anything close to my mental head image. Just imagine it has 2 legs extra.
Whoa.
Oh, it kind of looks like the fucking.
Ah, I see. A weapon to surpass Metal Gear.
Is there any way to show this on stream?
Probably not going to.
Oh no.
So,
Fair.
for the sake of stream, I'll go ahead and I'll describe anyway. What you guys see is a 6-legged arachnid-esque machine possessing of what appear to be 2 almost manipulator arms in front of it. A sleek, nearly organic-looking metallic surface layer. Panels that seem to meld into that surface layer, under which are various pieces of equipment. The party only really knows of 2 of which. And other than that, it looks as technological as possible. Although this one is significantly smaller than the others that you've seen, as it's maybe about the size of a large cat or very small dog, whereas the others were about the size of a bear or larger.
Bro made a familiar.
Where's there? I have a very important question for you, Mr. DM. Then.
Zerzan is like, I don't know, standing like 5 feet from it, sort of between you guys and it.
That's just tiny. Does it appear hostile?
It seems to just be standing there.
It's vibing.
Oh yes, blasphemous machine! How dare you move without a soul? I'm kidding.
Ultra kill moment.
Derek,
Malevolent ricochet shots.
I will grind you to your very spark.
It's ultra killing time.
Okay, hold on. There were like 3 people that tried to interject. Barrick, you started first.
yeah, no, Barrick, like, obviously he looked over when the noise happened, sees that, looks back at the Hammerlord, and is just like, where did you get some of this technology? This equipment?
Oh, almost dropped the dice box there. That would have been bad.
How dare you?
I thought you'd be like, oh yeah, he's reaching into his back pocket where he keeps all his tools.
You see him try to speak, and instead all he suddenly does is coughs blood as you see his irises turn to pinpricks for a moment. And then he seems to refrain from attempting to speak after that.
Maybe put him away for a bit.
Yeah. As Barrick puts him, like, goes to put his the Hammerlord's head, like, away, would it be possible to, like, do, like, a medicine check to see what the fuck is going on? Or, like, something of a
Yes.
similar nature?
I mean, you have proficiency in medicine, correct?
Yes.
Do you also have proficiency in Arcana?
Yes. Expertise in Arcana.
You know he just took psychic damage. And
A
not
lot
an
of psychic
insignificant
damage.
amount.
Just definitely took just mentally took damage.
Indeed.
That's
Gotcha.
a lot of damage.
We kind of do we need him alive?
Yes.
we need him alive for now. Maybe
For
maybe,
information.
maybe
Lisa hasn't seen anything
Alright,
girl before, right?
hold on.
Sorry, my bad.
Yeah,
Barrett's finished.
Yeah, after recognizing what's going on, Barrick's just like, nope. For your own safety, as much as I.
as much as I. Uh-oh.
I think Barrick's internet's doing a
I
goof.
think he took psychic damage too. I think he took.
And Barrick will at the very least keep the. Like, he'll close it, but, like, leave, like, that little bit of, like, space open for error.
Gotcha.
Gavin Wolf looks over to Zerzin. What did you do?
She, like, turns around really quickly and she's like... She just goes, why? Did something happen?
How did you...
Insight to see if he's bullshitting us.
Yeah.
To see if I'm bullshitting you guys?
Welcome back, Val.
Yeah.
Bye.
You actually came back at the perfect time.
Oh,
I mean, I guess that's a. I guess whether you would roll for something like that is a DM question.
Here, I'll ask this. Do you readily appear to be sincere when you say, "What did something happen?"
Yes.
Okay, so no, there's no insight required. You see that Zerzan is being honestly sincere as far as she can tell. Nothing is strange about this.
But how you
I have another question for you, Mr. Man. Sorry. Go ahead.
you made? How did you make that?
It's a homunculus servant I made out of some of the tech that was in here.
What?
It's not of Rashivan origin, by the way. I picked this thing up and it hurt. It was very cold to touch, very similar to the gun thing that you gave me. But I cast absorb elements on myself so it wouldn't hurt me, and then I picked it up and I turned it into a homunculus. He's my friend now. His name is Weevil.
I Weevil.
He's just like holding it in her hand.
Lisa has no idea what these are. I'm not question. Lisa has never seen any of these before, right?
Correct.
Like, see, yeah, that's a fucked up looking cat. Lisa didn't go over and pet it. she has no idea the snippets of this machine. She's taking Zergen completely at her word.
It bites her and deals 80 billion electricity damage.
You die instantly.
So, real quick, we're gonna catch Val up. So, Val, you had been kind of spacing out, kind of mulling things over in your head. However, your pleasant space cadetting journey has been also rudely interrupted by, if you look in general chat, there are 2 sound files. Play the first, then the second. Are the sounds that your brain space thought thinking is interrupted by. Also mute check.
Oh, right. Yeah, no, I So basically a warehouse with a door that needs a lot of WD-40.
Almost
Yeah.
correct.
You hear the
Except
lead
that
pipe sound. Sorry.
upon hearing this noise, you turn, and you had seen some of the machinery of this facility kind of compress in on itself to accompany that sound, and you saw Lisa running over with combat intent. You can see Zerzan, who looks, mildly confused at everyone's, immediately defensive/offensive reaction. And as soon as your brain fog finishes going, what? It kind of clicks, and you can see that held in Zerzan's hand, now being pet like it's a very, very wrong cat by Lisa, is effectively a miniaturized version, approximately the size of a very large cat or a very small dog. One of the machines you had witnessed at the alien facilities.
Okay. So we basically have another electronic golem thing like that of Squiggles and oh god, I know I have their names written
Scorpy.
down. Scorpy and
What?
I think there's one more in there somewhere, but it's not important.
Senshi.
Okay.
Look, Titan.
So that leaves me to ask then, where are we with the Hammer Lord, or should I say former Hammer Lord at this point?
In the middle of conversing, and then look over, see that happening, and then Barrick, you notice that Barrick has had the bag. You see that bag is now closed, well, or mostly closed.
So no.
There's also
Hammer
some
Lord
blood on the
heads-
ground now.
So
So there's no Hammer Lord head sticking out anymore.
no,
Correct.
not at the moment. Yeah.
No,
got
he appears to have taken a monumental amount of psychic damage out of
Yeah, like
Yeah,
And-
there's a small bit of blood where his head once was. Sort of on the ground. Sorry.
yeah, but you could at least very much see that, like, at the very least, like, Barrick, as much as he's, like, keeping himself calm right now, it's just like he at least recognized what happened, like, he knows what happened with the Hammer Lord, and there you could tell he had a reason for putting him back in the bag for the moment.
Got it. So mechanical dog that is something from the facilities. Barrick being actually pissed off is actually a lot scarier than anything else in this room right now.
It's one of those things where it's like everyone who's been around Barrick long enough can at least tell that it's like he's keeping his calm right now, but he needs some stress relief and fast.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go check in on my very good friend Barrick, so he doesn't absolutely probably decimate our souls by turning our anuses inside out for whatever god-forsaken reason.
That was a whole entire sentence.
That's just another Friday.
Ah, yes. Barrick Channel Divinity, Inside Out.
Domain
And not the
expansion.
movie.
Gavin. No, sorry. Barrick casts invert.
So with that said, Val clocking back into his surroundings, though still seemingly slightly out of it. But one thing at a time here, folks. We're gonna approach Barrick and be like, I know I haven't exactly been of any help as of the last 20 minutes. However, I think I can see a stressed Barrick in need when I see one.
Oh. A lot of like Barrick will kind of just look over and just be like, a lot of shit's happening all at once, and what the fuck, guys? And we won't be able to get any more questions out of the Hammer Lord for a hot minute until he fucking recovers from whatever fuckery just fucking happened.
Again, I was sort of clocked out. What the fuck happened to the Hammer Lord?
So he definitely took some mental damage from seeing what Zerzan just did.
The dog?
So did I, frankly. I'm kidding.
Yes. It, well, Val is actually like a very like miniature, like, one of those things that we at the facilities, the like squiggles and Skorupi.
Yeah, the dog looking thing, right?
More like a bug.
Yeah.
Um
What kind of dog is that?
okay, I'm
A fucked up looking
still-
one.
shut it. Shut your traps. While I'm trying to get everything fucking in order in my head because I've been clocked out for a moment.
Oh.
So he took pointing to the Hammer Lord, or
The bag.
the bag, yeah, explained here. Pointing to the Hammer Lord. So he took psychic damage from seeing that being created?
From the looks of it, yes. At least
Why
at
aren't
first
we
glance.
just healing him then?
Well,
Zurzen's head shoots up. She's like,
Uh,
wait, what
my
happened?
apologies.
Zurzen, okay, hold on. Sorry, Barrick, not to interrupt you.
My apologies.
Pitting you for a moment to paladin of whatever god you're fucking following right now that I can't keep track of. And Zurzen, how the fuck did you make that in here?
Well, I took a panel off of this thing. I was talking to the Hammerlord, and I got really angry, and I stepped away, and I needed to relax. So I started to inspect this panel here, this control panel thing, and I took a panel off the back, and there was a whole bunch of technology in there that isn't of Rashiva origin. It looks... I touched the thing. It was very cold. It hurt. Very similar to the gun thing that Gavin gave me, and I cast Absorb Elements so I could hold it, and then I infused it to be my homunculus servant. But I was all the way over here at that time. If something happened to the Hammerlord because I did this, I did not know about that, and that was not my intention.
You're fine.
Yeah,
But,
no, you sound
Yeah.
perfectly fine in this scenario. I'm still... Okay, I am starting a conspiracy theory here, and the red string is not connecting where it should.
Well, obviously, all of this tech is from
The
our
facilities.
precursors.
Yeah.
I can.
We can
My
investigate
apologies,
that
my lords.
later.
Let Lisa speak.
Okay, Lisa, what are you trying to say?
He did not. If I may clarify for a moment, he did not take psychic damage upon seeing this creature. He took the damage upon Lord Barrick asking him about it. It seems like he only took the damage upon trying to answer where he got it from.
Lana,
You're right. Very astute.
I have a question, and I'm not entirely sure how to ask this in character, or say this in character, so I'm going to say it as a player, and then we'll go from there.
Okay.
Would it be possible for... Oh god. Val, there we go. Would it be possible for Val to deduce from what was all just said about how Lisa just said that the Hammerlord took damage from Barrick asking the question about where the technology came from, that this probably has somehow relations to Calvin?
Can you run that by me one more time?
Okay, so Hammerlord took psychic... So Lisa just told Val that the Hammerlord took damage from Barrick asking how the Hammerlord got a hold of the precursor technology. How... I guess I guess I don't have to roll or anything for this, but like, would it be logical for Val to make the deduction that this is somehow connected to Calvin?
By the way you phrase that, that would be asking for meta knowledge outside the immediate narrative, so I could not give you that.
Yeah, I don't want meta knowledge. No meta knowledge. Okay, then never mind. We go on. Okay, so Lisa, Barrick asked where the Hammerlord got this technology from, and that caused him to have psychic damage or have taken damage.
In Indeed, my lord. In fact, he seemed to be in the middle of answering when he took it,
So
as if he was being purposely
How-
interrupted.
So what did he say until he took the damage?
Not much, I'm afraid, my lord. He was interrupted before he could even really truly begin.
Okay, so he went to answer, but no answer actually came out. There we go. That makes a bigger difference, which means he implied the answer and wasn't able to.
Yeah, because
Does
unfortunately,
that catch me up to speed on everything?
Also, meteors came raining down from the sky. No, I'm kidding.
No, I would more likely believe that cows started falling from the sky and then you butchered them like an animal.
The
Yeah, they
apocalypse
were
happened
cow
every time.
meteors.
Meat ears, if you will.
Mmm.
I
Delicious.
a new complete. I'm kidding.
So, anyways, back in character. Does this catch me up on to speed of everything that has apparently happened the moment for the time I have not been aware of what's happening around me?
Basically, the only thing you really miss is that most of the party has gotten super pissed at the Hammer Lord and has each independently threatened to kill him.
We had like a roast
started to be the
session
most
where we all
violent.
just told him what a huge piece of shit he was and how we all wanted to kill him.
That doesn't
I mean,
change from when we originally walked in here, so
I mean,
That's
we
very
were
fair.
we were able to, get him to admit to doing some of this stuff for no in front of no indicates towards all the guards.
Oh yeah,
And
the Hammer Lord also
his
mentioned the growl.
Okay, hold on. Okay, yeah, I was about to say one at a time because I can't hear both of you. Gavin
go.
first.
Oh, that works too.
His answers, the way he answered, and the things that he said when he answered, I'm gonna be honest, they very much particularly point to him being an absolute psychopath.
Fair, we kind of deduced that beforehand.
And
okay.
yeah, no, he feels absolutely no regrets or moral quandaries for all of the children that he experimented on and murdered.
Amongst,
which included the fairies.
Yeah. And that's not including, some of his own people that he was doing it to.
And he didn't even stop to consider asking, his god or the priests or Barrack if they could, resurrect his daughter. He didn't even stop to consider it. He just assumed that they wouldn't.
Okay, we're going to put a quick pin in that. Lisa, what were you saying?
So clarification, he also mentioned that he got stage children off of the underworld, the black market, and he mentioned a handful of. Yep.
Yeah, I think I'm still clocked in for that because I remember Mr. Fishing Pole, Mr. Cap, and Mr. Watcher.
Yep, and we know Mr. Fishing Pole, I believe, is specifically a drow. And Lisa promised she did like a lore dump on their sort of entire deal.
Okay. With that said, I apologize for taking the floor here and ruining the flow of whatever you guys had going, but I need to ask a question to the Hammer Lord if he is conscious enough. He reapproaches Barrack and being like, "May I?"
Yeah. Barrack will reopen the bag, so that he could pull the hammer, at least the head of Hammer Lord's head up, so that for air.
Val beats you to that by reaching into the bag, and you can tell exactly what he's about to do, which is he's about to grab the Hammer Lord by the beard and pull him up. So, which is what Val does. He reaches into the bag of holding, feels around, grabs the first bushy, fuzzy thing he can feel, which he assumes will be the Hammerlord's beard, and grabs hold of it hard and yanks his head up out of the bag.
I feel like this is like the ultimate disrespect to all dwarves, and yet none of the dwarves in here will give a shit.
Like, I think with all that was just said, I think everyone here, Barrick included, would be like, this is the one time that it's acceptable.
Hell, I'd do it too.
Yes, plucking him up exactly like he's a carrot.
more like a mandrake. Jeez.
Okay, so you do, in fact, pull him up and out and are holding him. You can see there's a bit of dried blood on his lips from where he had coughed some of it up, and some dried streaks of blood where something with claws had grabbed him by the head. Possibly?
Nature check to tell what kind of claw marks those are.
Roll for it.
And Barrick would be like seeing that Val's looking at that. It's like, we could probably narrow that down for you, and
There's just a rabid dog in the bag of holding.
Because math is hard today, I need a calculator.
what's the numbers?
15 on the die with a +7 is a 22.
Human calculator beat you to it.
I know, right?
Big brain.
Dragon Claw.
Dragon Claw.
Let him
That
connect the
big?
dots. Let him connect the dots.
Either he figures it out or he doesn't.
Immediately turns to fucking Mara.
Hey, figured it out.
Which I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say exactly what he does. He turns to Mara over his shoulder, is looking at her. What does Mara look like right now?
Pissed.
What
Angry.
form, dummy?
Angry.
Normal.
What form? Delicious.
Okay, yes.
Strawberry
Bedroom
ice cream.
Casanova.
I mean, hey, Mara is pink, so you could say that she's flavored like strawberry ice cream. Hey!
This
Ma,
is a
can we
reminder
tell
once
this guy?
again for our stream. This is an 18. You know what, Bucket? At this point, it's a 21 and plus channel. If you're not 21, get the fuck out.
Yeah, and especially because we both know that Val likes to eat Mara like she's strawberry ice cream.
Oh,
Anyways, while all of the jabs have been hilarious, my question has still yet to be answered.
this is gonna take 1d10
Mara,
seconds.
you're a
we-
fucking monster for sharing that gif.
we did answer. She's in normal form.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I am barely here, guys. Give me some credit.
Skill issue.
That is the best GIF in the universe.
Alright, so Mara's just in her normal pink tiefling form. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, remember the maid outfit.
Yes,
She
I
never
always
climbs
remember.
out of it.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Rank by now.
I'm about to fucking leave.
Sorry.
No, Woody, that was not directed at you. You need to talk more. Yeah. Anyways, so with that being said, Val pulling the Hammerlord up by the beard, he sees the claw marks, deduces what they are. He looks over his shoulder at Mara, and he... God damn it. I'm closing Discord, you fucker. And he looks over his shoulder, and he gives that knowing eyebrow raise to Mara, and he just simply nods his head like, okay, I approve. This is fine. And proceeds to go back to what he was... Oh my god. Going back to what he was doing, which is he's going to ask the Dwarf Lord some questions.
How? Still looking out of it, Lana?
I mean, he looks perfectly coherent. Just, you know, he's maybe just in a bit of already pain.
Excuse me. Yeah, I don't have anything spell-wise that would help me. So with that being said, he pulls the dwarf lord out, and he turns to him. Excuse me. And he looks him dead in the eye. Do you believe that you succeeded in what you did? With doing everything that you did? And was it truly done for your daughter's sake? Or is that just the excuse?
She is alive.
She is alive because we came in and interfered with what you were doing.
You were brought here by my actions. I'd call that
You
success enough.
You do not have any guaranteed knowledge that what we would have done would have been to either bring her back or kill her.
Still, she is alive. The end goal is achieved, even if not by the means that I originally sought.
Then you are prepared to face the consequences of what you have done then.
That depends on if you even seem to be willing to let me live long enough for that.
Honestly, I'd like to kill you right here and now. Be done with it. However, I am needing to show restraint in some things that I believe and think. I know you did it with good intentions. Asterisk. However, your methods for going about it were wrong. What all do you know about the death of your daughter?
I know what you know. That she was murdered. That the circumstances surrounding it were mysterious, nefarious. I know that I had people investigating, including yourselves. They had yet to come up with anything till now. Now I know, roughly, the same as you.
So you know why she was killed. You know who killed her.
I've been told as much, yes.
Val shoves him back into the bag of holding.
Like,
And then closes the bag before Barrick even gets a chance to.
Something he doesn't know that we didn't say is that it was his personal treatment of his daughter that drove her to comfort in the arms of her killer. He's the reason she died.
Well, Barrick will.
If we're going to oh, sorry, Barrick.
Go ahead. Yeah,
No,
no,
you
Barrick. Barrick would have, over. He would have asked Val for the bag back so that he could hold on to it.
Oh yeah, no, he didn't take the bag away or anything. Like he let Barrick like hold the bag while he basically was beard strangling this man. The only thing he did is just close it.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyways, if we're gonna fault every parent for the way that they treat their kids, then we're going to fault every parent that we come across. King, peasant, noble, nothing. There's no perfect parent out there. I'm an example of that myself. I'm sure we're
Wait,
all
what?
here an example of that ourselves.
I'm sorry. I was literally like, "You're a fucking dad."
I'm glad I'm not the only one who thought that.
Yeah, I think that was all a collective thought there. Like, hold on. Is there something you ain't telling Mara?
I think that came out wrong. It's what? My brain is thinking faster than my mouth can speak. Anyways, to reiterate what I was just saying, we can't fault every parent that we come across, be it king, noble, or peasant. We'll find fault with them all in some way, shape, or form. We can't say that he, just because of his treatment to his daughter, drove her into the arms of his killer. Yeah, that's still bad, but you're going to find that everywhere. Unfortunately, that's just the way things are. I'm a product of the way my parents ended up treating me. And I'm sure a lot of us here can speak to the same of that. That's not the current problem now. The problem is the lives and freedoms of the people that he's taken away to do a task in which he had no guarantee in the fact that it would give results in the manner he wanted. And now we have one other problem that I don't know if I had iterated to any of you here yet.
No, you didn't say anything until now. You just dropped in.
I was a bit preoccupied with my thoughts and trying to gather them. I apologize for that. That is by no means an
No,
excuse,
even
but
before
it
that,
is...
when you dropped in, when we were about to kill him.
Fox is struggling to remember exactly what you're referring to.
A few
He's
sessions ago.
He's referring to when you teleported out by the goat blessing, then teleported back in.
Not
Oh,
teleported
that.
brought back them.
Got it.
on
Got
the
it.
moon.
Okay. Okay, I know what we're talking about.
We have no idea what's been going on in your head, or what's been going on with you for the past day and a half.
To sum it up in a nutshell, the Hammer Lord is the reason I was here in the first place. I thought it was possibly a god trying to get my attention again, so I had followed it. Unfortunately, followed too close to the trap and got myself caught in it. So that explains why I originally went missing. The goat incident, well, most of you guys have used the goat thing, so self-explanatory. Those of you who haven't, slap the mark of where the mark is, you get teleported you get switched places with a random goat anywhere in the world.
Lisa just blinks.
Holds up his hand to Lisa. It's a long story. Trust me, that's all you want to know. That being said, I was all the way back in Lylarica.
Bruh.
Well, you guys know I'm not a wizard. Looks at his hand. I still have my marks. And suddenly I had a device in which there was no means of me being able to create in the first place. So use your best educated guesses of what the fuck happened after that. And I shouldn't have to say his name. However, with that being said, of not saying his name, he gave me the device. I inquired as many questions as I could with as feeble of knowledge as I have, and he assured me that There was no means of him being able to manipulate the device in any way, but there was one person who could, and that is the Hammer Lord. So right now, at this very instance, the Hammer Lord has the ability to control his daughter and command her out of her own free will, or not by her consent, basically. I'm not sure if she would even be aware of that happening to her, or if it would be like mind control. I don't know. But if the Hammer Lord stays alive and is aware of this information by whether he comes across it accidentally, intentionally, or is told, he could control the current form of the princess. Right now, she has her memories up until about her death. And that's it. That's all I know. That was all the information I was able to get, really. And then I
Well,
was very rudely flung back and somehow survived.
well, he won't get the chance. They won't even be on the same continent. We have a missing Hammer Lord, as far as the people may or may not know. And we have a dead princess, so far as they know. So we take the princess away.
And what if she wants to come back and serve as their queen?
She will. Once the threat is destroyed, we have to protect her from the threat. No doubt. Considering she was a sacrifice to a deity, her resurrection, her reincarnation, likely tipped off some warning sign in that deity's head, if not outright alerted them. We need to act quickly. I'll take her back to Lilarica, and I'll put her under a sequester. Nothing will be able to reach her there. Except for those who know of her, and where she is, and how to. And she will be under the protection of my wife. No one outside of this room will know of this. And we will use this to bait the killer to us. We are his bait. Out in the open, we subdue him. And then we find where the fuck he came from and we blow it up.
Listening to Dr. Gavin,
Gavin Wolf.
Gavin Wolf, whatever. It's Dr. Gavin talking. I can get away with it.
Never.
Val looks to everyone in the party to gauge their reactions. So, Woody, What is
Yeah.
Zerzan's reaction to all of this being said?
She is clearly listening, but she seems to be pacing back and forth very impatiently.
That's fair. Mara?
So I zoned out.
You know, that's fair. That tracks.
Pretty reasonable.
More accurate, Mara. Mara.
What's going on?
Gavin, God.
No, you go ahead and explain it. I got more talking to do.
Gavin has more or less laid out this plan to teleport the princess over to his wife's house and put her under a spell where she'd be protected, and use the party themselves as bait for the killer.
Better than anything I could come up with.
Dank is who I'm talking to. And then that leaves Barrick. Barrick, this is your country. This is your royalty. How do you feel about this?
A lot is going on, and
And a lot more is about to happen.
yeah. I don't know what all will happen with all that's going on. Like, once information is out, like, once we leave this room, I should say. But things will definitely happen. Processes will happen because. And at some point, the Hammer Lord will need to be brought forward for. To pay. Brought forward for, essentially trial and what have you. And the whole process with that stuff. We will have to go about this very carefully.
I need to ask you another question. By the way, Lana.
Aye.
Are the dwarven guards still in here?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh yes.
So they're listening in on this conversation. And
Oh
everything.
yes.
Wonderful, great. I don't have to explain things twice then.
And that no one's outside of this room will know of this. That is very much aimed at all the guards as well. Just
I have a very serious question to ask everyone, including the guard of this room. My beliefs and my thought process as of right now, and this is my opinion only, are that the Hammer Lord cannot be allowed to leave this room alive. He has trodden upon Fey children, his own people, and God knows how many other lives. Even if it was to bring back his daughter. It is by no means any excuse. However, that being said, that does not necessarily mean he was a bad king. In my opinion, and only my opinion, I believe we should be executing him here and now. Don't even give him the chance for a trial. And he dies or so we tell the people. And he dies in the means of fighting to find his daughter's killer. And that is how he is remembered. But that means that everyone here is sworn to this secret. And it never leaves this cave.
I cannot lie to an entire country.
You don't have to. Barrack does.
But then we have to support that lie, which makes us liars as well. I cannot.
Then we find someone to wipe your memory of the incident.
I've had enough of things tampering with my memory.
Then you're going to have to lie.
No.
There is no two ways about it.
There is no two ways about it. It is not your jurisdiction.
And that is why I said it was my opinion.
And it is my opinion that trial or no trial, the result should be that a millstone be hung around his neck and he be flung into the sea. But it is up to Barrack's nation.
That is something we can agree on.
And in order for them to decide, they need the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And that might sound bad, but trust me, the most bitter truth is always better than the sweetest of lies.
I understand that. However,
Let him-
my worry is that if we continue to let him live, if he hasn't already heard my conversation from his, I'm not even sure what to call the bag of holding anymore, but from within the bag of holding, he has control over his daughter right now. I don't know what power she possesses in this new form.
And she, as the current ruler, is in no state to give. The captain of the guard, as a judiciary force, however, knows all that has gone on in here.
Then we ask the guard captain, who should be in here, right?
Indeed.
And Barrack, who is current, I would imagine, would be current acting representative of his household. So we turn the question to them and ask the bitter truth or a sweet lie. It should be for you guys to decide, not us.
I also want to ask, we don't have any information on what caused him that psychic damage.
Nothing good, I'm sure.
And we'll have to investigate the precursor connection here. I'm sure it's tied to that, and whatever ties to that will go with him.
And that's a bridge that we cross when we get there. Are we going to stand around and talk all day and argue like children, or are we going to fucking do something? Just take their Hammerlord out of the bag, put him in shackles, turn him to the guard. Let them sort this situation out. We have a psychopathic, ritual-killing cultist to capture and kill. Take the Hammerlord out, strip him down, take everything off of him, turn him to the guard. Let them sort this guy out. We have other things to deal with. We can sit here and talk all day, or we can fucking do something.
We can't do anything until I transform back into my normal.
What? How long will that take, Lord Gavin?
I'm not sure. Could be another, I don't know, 10 minutes. Could be 8 hours.
Quite frankly, I am not. We have been here, what, 1 day, 2 days, 3 days? How long have we been in here? In this tavern? In this cave?
At least, probably at this point, 9-10 hours.
10 hours, I spent at least one night here.
Without what I can do, the princess will not be safe. And I cannot do anything right now, so as I am in form, the wolf only lets me speak.
Here and wait until he transfers back and handle the princess. While he's doing that, we can give the king over to the dwarves and begin heading out and planning at least something where we have access to more equipment and more time.
Yes.
All right.
Can I, like... I can, like, build shit. Can I, like, make some shackles, like, high security restraints for this guy?
I don't see why not, especially if you cooperate, like, with the guards.
Which I would fully be willing to do.
Then heck yeah.
Alright. Do I roll anything for that, or do I just do the thing?
I mean, yeah, you pretty... You do.
Okay, I do the thing, so... You know what? It is reasonable to say that that would probably take some amount of time to accomplish. Would Gavin untransform in that time? Like, it wouldn't take forever, but it would take a few minutes, probably.
Oh yeah, yeah, I mean, easily within that time frame, Gavin would undog.
There we go, problem solved.
The dog is no longer out of him.
Oh. I'll just cough up a fucking hairball. Oh. How? Why? I don't know. Don't want to know.
Hi, welcome
Oh
back
no, he's
to
British! Transfer back! I'm kidding.
Turn him back, turn him back.
Irish,
happens
thank
when
you.
That's what happens when you turn into a big fluffy monster and start licking your own ass, Fuzzbutt.
Oof.
Burn.
Not my fault.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Alright, so with these extra hefty restraints and shackles made, Lisa, you're strong. I feel like this idiot's probably gonna struggle, because who wouldn't? Hold this guy down.
Barrack, may I have my bag real quick?
Yep. He is still in there, so...
I assumed as much.
Yep.
And, yeah. I've got a couple of other things in here, but, Not all that much. Few rations, torches, assorted equipment, whatever.
Are we ready to let him out so that we could put shackles on him at the very least?
Yes.
Ready for the dog pile? In 3, 2, 1. And Gavin will fold the bag of holding inside out, releasing all of the contents.
Shotgun explosion of contents everywhere.
Not that much, honestly. The magnifying glass might break, and I'll be pissed about that, but...
Lisa, yeah, and Lisa's gonna more or less sort of get ready to immediately grab and pin this guy the moment he's released.
Lisa there, like the pro wrestler, the second he sees him, just like, wah!
Kicks him in the head to knock him out, accidentally kills him.
All right,
Places
so
in the
yeah,
back of the
you
head.
immediately pile drive your entire self on top of him.
I will come over with these restraints that lock both his arms and legs together, with like 3 different locks.
Okay. And you clap him on the man.
And then I will approach the captain of the guard and hand him like 3 separate, very distinctly different keys.
I'm sorry, what did I miss?
We tackled him, shackled him, and I gave the guard the keys.
Lisa grabs the key and eats. I'm kidding.
Hey, it was a way to keep it safe.
Oh, Mara? Yeah, what you
am-
got, Mara?
I am disappointed that you were not able to, that you did not come up with a third ackle pun.
I was
Whackle.
honestly trying to.
We were gonna whackle him, but we've refrained from doing so.
I was trying to, but then the amount of time it would have taken me to come up with it would have ruined the timing of that possible joke.
Now,
Yeah.
since he's tackled, since, you know, she totally has a spill, Lisa the cast heat net. I'm kidding.
Sear it to his flesh.
We whackle and smackle him until his neck goes crackle.
I mean, I think I can learn heat metal as an artificer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just as an extra fuck you. Get
Hell, Jack
scorched,
dead.
idiot. But yeah, so we turn this goober over to the captain of the guard and hand him off.
Okie dokie, okie dokie. He passes 1 key over to another individual and 1 key over to yet another individual, nodding to them both, and goes, "We taking him anywhere? You all seemed like you hadn't really decided on if he should stay here or..."
You guys take him to, I'm guessing, whatever prison you guys have. I actually, you know what? I'm gonna stop talking. Barrick, you're better to tell these guys where to take him.
Yeah. I know, actually, I was just about to say, guard captain. The 2 of us will probably need to do some talking anyways, and probably rope in some some other officials and stuff for what, like, with what all that's happened. But, we will... out of character, would Barrick know anything about secure places to keep someone of high profile?
I mean, you could assume probably the fortress castle, or possibly your own house.
The problem with taking him out of here in the first place is that it risks the
It risks
murderer
attention.
knowing.
Yeah.
And national attention as well, which we want to keep down. We don't want the public to know about this yet.
Don't we have portals and teleportation?
A simple executioner's hood over his head could also solve the problem.
We just put him in a burlap sack.
That is the other thing. We did kind of say and leave it up to basically Barrack and the captain of the guard whether or not this man even leaves this room alive.
Yeah. And I'm also probably going to assume out of game real quick that Barrack probably, like, he doesn't, obviously probably wouldn't know all the rules and stuff offhand for like a situation like this, but he probably knows, like, tidbits about, like, oh, hey, if we need to replace the fucking Hammer Lord.
This is a national emergency. He's a terrorist and a criminal and treasonous, so...
Just another day at the office.
Technically, as far as I'm aware, there would be every reason and every right to basically have a military tribunal right here. Just shoot him. But that's up to you guys at this point. It's your jurisdiction.
I'm down for that, but I'm not a dwarf, so it's a dwarf's decision. This is the decision of their people to make.
Yeah, Val is all for killing this guy and not letting him leave. Like,
all of us are, but again, their jurisdiction.
It's like he said, he told Barrack and the guards, like, it is up to them of how we deal with the situation right now, if we even deal with it. If they want to walk him out of here and do the whole trial thing, fine. If they want us to execute him right now, we have no problem doing
that. They want us to execute him right now, then. Cracks knuckles.
Mara just transforms and eats him.
You all look like you are very undecided with the way your facial expressions are all bouncing back and forth. I'm going to take him over here and figure it out. And he turns around and starts walking away.
Undecided? My good sir, we all want this guy fucking dead.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's not really undecided as it is we are restraining ourselves from just murking this man now.
The unanimous decision is we all want to turn this guy into a smear on the ground, but we're going to let the judicial system take care of it properly.
However, the judicial system decides to take care of it is up to them.
Yeah.
Right now. Which is you.
I mean, he's already like 20 feet away now. He's already started walking. Like he made his choice because you guys was all going back and forth, so he's made his decision and he's off completing it.
I changed my mind. Vortex warps them back to us.
War.
Barrack would at least probably, head after them, the guards at least, with unassumingly, because they assumingly have the Hammer Lord with them.
Indeed.
And like probably like for safety's sake, at least for the moment, and probably just to the guard captain, we should probably put something over the Hammer Lord's head. Until
he holds a hand up and he says, "Although I respect your continued input, good Rune Shaper, I will continue to handle the Hammer Lord from here on out."
Understandable. Anyone, I'm assuming head library be one of the people I'll have to talk to anyways.
What I'll ask of you and of your friends is that you all focus on this plan of yours to draw out this killer. If the least you do is eliminate him, I will be more than happy myself.
Gotcha. At the very least, because I'm assuming there will probably be more questions for us, the group, at later. To get it a hold of us if you need to.
If needs be, I know how to contact you and your friends again. Please, Barrick, for the moment, focus on your plan of the killer. You at least seem to be handing over decisions of how to handle the disgraced Hammerlord. I will make sure that whatever is needed to be done is done.
All right.
Barrick, I need you over here.
It's like, all right. I'm be like, Barrick will definitely give, like a salute of sorts to the captain of the guard on hand, and then head back over.
So, the best I can think of at this very moment, we are still in charge of this investigation. The best cover that we can do with what we have now is the Runeshaper household calls in the entirety of the Royal Guard for questioning, as to not arouse suspicion of the individual that we seek. And it needs to be done at the Runeshaper household. Home turf advantage. If we have your people, if we have your family on our side, we will gain even more advantage. It's not my wish to put them in danger, but we need all the help that we can get with this one.
Indeed. And we'll definitely want the help. And I definitely want to talk to my father about it as well, because there's probably a few things that he could probably add to the situation, or point us to good locations that we could use to.
But I will need you to set up all that. I will not be here for that. I'm going to need to take her back to, my place, and I'm going to have Mara with me, otherwise we can't do this quickly enough.
Real quick, while I'm thinking about it, and that actually brought up a good point. How many charges are left on that staff, Mara?
She looks at it for a moment.
Some of them should have come back because of they regain at dawn or something, right?
It was like once a week, I think. One per week or whatever.
Yeah. It only has one charge.
Ooh.
And it doesn't recharge for another 4 days.
Well then, we can get over there now.
But you guys would be out for.
We will not be able to come back until tomorrow. Unless
No,
we
hold
have
on.
someone else on the other side telling us.
Uh,
Or-
ex-
Wait a minute.
excuse me, out of character knowledge. Hello, me, William speaking. Didn't Gavin explicitly set up a teleport circle?
That's what that's what I was about to say.
You
I can
guys should
set
make
up
it.
I can set up a teleport circle in here. No one will ever know except for us.
I was
And
about
we-
to.
And we can mark it off, get rid of it as soon as we come back. I'll set up the circle. Once we're there, it's going to take a bit. Setting up the spell is not going to be enough. There are a couple of items that we'll need to procure. Though, given our connections, it should not take very long.
I was about to say, if you guys wanted to give me a moment, I could probably see about setting something up so I could, because we are in the city that I would do this, but
No,
setting up a
nothing here.
sanctuary.
Nothing here in the city. She needs to be safe.
No, I meant for word of recall.
Word of recall. What's that again?
Word of recall. Let me pull it up. You and up to 5 willing creatures within 5 feet of you instantly teleport to a previously designated sanctuary. You and any creatures that teleport with you appear in the nearest unoccupied space to the spot you designated when you prepared your sanctuary. See the following. If you cast a spell without first preparing a sanctuary, the spell has no effect. And I must designate a sanctuary by casting the spell within a location, such as a temple, that's dedicated to or strongly linked to my deity. If you attempt to cast the spell in this manner in an area that is not dedicated to your deity, the spell has no effect.
So, can this be set up here, or does it have to be set up in your
Library.
temple or house?
Library, most likely.
Would we have to go there first to do it, or can we just cast it here and then we go there when it sets off?
I would have to go there first to set it up.
We can't leave. We can't leave this room with her.
Excuse me, can we not simply hide her appearance?
Too risky. And we have ways of making sure she leaves this room and is on the other side of the planet, so there's no need for that risk.
Right, but you were willing to hide the king's appearance. I know some of us must have some ability to use illusions, and you can simply street for her within your bag of things.
The king is not the target. And I'm not about to shove someone who isn't a prisoner into a bag of holding, into an extra-dimensional space where they have little to no oxygen. Where I'm taking her, she will be safe and she will be under heavy protection. Powerful protection.
Well, it seems our best
It's
option
rude
is
to
to
call your
simply.
wife fat.
My wife could kill all of us in the blink of an eye, and we all know. Except for Lisa and Zerzan, who have not met my wife.
Well, sounds like we have a plan. So get to it.
Mara and I
well-
will Mara and I will teleport back in here, and we will let you know when we are coming. At that point, call for them. We will come in when we are needed. Ambush style. Did any of that come through? My connection looked wobbly.
It did come through. It came through a little quickly because it cut out, and then the internet made you like the voice that we missed get caught up all at once, which sounded really funny.
Okay. But you did get what I said,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it'd be. Because you only got. Yeah, because you guys only have one use of the staff as of now, because it'll be, what, 4 days before another charge comes back?
Indeed, but did you not just state that you would be able to use the teleportation circle?
This is true. So, does Mara want to come with me, or does someone else want to come with me? Or is it just going to be me?
Well, you did mention wanting to have a talk with me. I don't see no better time. Through leaving my lords without my protection is a bit of a leases are welcome.
You want to meet my wife? Right now?
Shrugs.
Pray she doesn't find out what you did to me. I can't exactly hold her back.
Indeed, indeed. Well, as you rather me not, I don't mind.
No, it's fine. We just won't have time to have a talk.
Very well then. I do know that my god is simply waiting for the rest of us. Might as well be able to give him a more proper greeting with him.
I'm gonna set up the teleportation circle now. Barrack, do what you
Yep.
can to wake her. She needs to be conscious. Otherwise, she will not be able to be moved.
Alright. And Barrack will go over to the daughter and first see what he could do, like medicine check probably, or something akin to that.
Yeah, it's gonna take me 11 minutes in game to set this up.
To see how she's doing. So, Lana, Mr. DM.
Yeah, yes. Pardons. I hadn't made sure to check my headset. Okay, hold on. All right. Okay.
Can't believe you.
So,
Code, I'll
Barrack's.
banish you if you make any more lip.
So, Barrack will, while Gavin is setting up.
Yes. So to answer and repeat what I had answered, you are able to tell that you could very easily wake her. Just like, a little wave of some particularly potent herbs or something would be sufficient.
And that is what he'll do.
Well, and she pops awake.
And he'll just be like, whoa, take it easy. Like, take your time.
Okay, when I say pops awake, I did not mean that literally. She actually sits up like
Explodes.
relatively gently and seems to rouse at a normal rate.
I mean, Barrack would at least help her with it. Help her though. How are you feeling?
Reeling a little yet, but well.
That's good. We plan on taking you to a safe location for the time being.
I would certainly appreciate that.
And like Barrick will kind of look over to Gavin for a moment while he's working on his the stuff for the teleportation circle. He will be taking you to stay with his wife, who is a lot stronger than any of us, and she would. I mean, if like given the circumstances and being filled in on what has happened, would likely be like willing to help out with what has happened.
I'm just appreciative of the protection. I don't think I need to know more.
And then when there is the time, there not definitely not now, but at some point down the line, there will definitely be some conversations to be had with regards to future endeavors and stuff like that, and what you want to do going forward.
She kind of holds up a couple of hands and goes, I'm going to choose to worry about that once I've figured out the present.
That's why I said down the line. That is a later problem. That's going to be a later situation to deal with. As for now, you're just worried, like wanting to make sure that you are safe and in good hands.
Just point me where I need to be walking.
Barrick will be like, well, after he's done with the teleportation circle, he will teleport. Gavin will teleport you. At the very least, teleport himself with you, and whoever decides to go with him, with you guys to where his wife is at.
Say that one again?
Yeah. Barrick will like nod towards Gavin and just be like, after he's done setting up the teleportation circle.
Okay.
Where to stand, because he'll be taking you to visit him. He'll be taking you to his wife.
I see. And good Sir Runeshaper, I'm sorry to sound so dismissive. Just I respect your intention to be helpful, but I already have a lot on my plate. That's the only reason why I have put down your attempts to tell me more. Just please understand, I will ask you every question at a later date.
Understand. I get that.
Now, I will go over and quite happily help.
All right.
So then are the rest of us heading back to the Runeshaper house?
I believe that would be the plan. right? Right, guys?
That's
Yeah.
my understanding of it.
Yeah.
So no one is heading with our funky wonky tiefling guy. The rest of the party is just tagging along to the Bear household, is my understanding.
That's
mean-
where Zerzin's gonna go.
Didn't you say that Lisa would be going with Gavin?
Yeah, Lisa's going with.
Okay. So at least everybody else will be going back to the Rune Shaper house. Alright. With that decided, Gavin, you yourself successfully teleport off with you and the religious murder hobo.
And Hammerlord's daughter.
Indeed.
And,
The murder hoboed.
yeah. And the rest of the party
They're
heads
heading
back
off to Bookboy,
Mm-hmm.
Captain Bookboy's house.
Alright, Princess. Sorry for the info dump earlier. I know it must be terrible shock. But
I'll be enjoying the reprieve.
alright. For now, for the foreseeable future, I'm gonna have to ask you to trust whatever I say. Alright? Princess, Lisa, take my hands.
Lisa takes one of his hands.
And 3, 2, 1. And Gavin sends all himself and the princess and Lisa to Kitty's house. Well, actually, it would be in the castle
Indeed.
in Gloria's workroom.
For brevity's sake, looking at the time, we won't be focusing on that for now. We will be going on and focusing on the Rune Shaper house, at least for right now.
I mean, I was about to say, considering the time, it actually might be a good point to be like,
Yeah.
all right, the party that did not teleport is heading back to the Rune Shapers, and then Lisa, Gavin, and the Hammerlord's daughter teleport. And then we can just pick up with those threads next session.
Yeah.
What's everybody thinking on that idea?
I'm okay with
Well,
that.
I already sent you what I was thinking.
I am tired and I have already all but clocked out, so I am in favor.
Alright, and we probably would need Mara, so yeah. I am
I mean,
very
yeah,
sorry.
Go
I'm
ahead, guys. Go ahead, guys. Go. I'm in favor of this. Go.
So I think that's everybody voting that we leave this plot thread for now,
Indeed.
and
Yep.
we pick everything back up next session.
Yeah, because it is actually like a nice, like, natural stopping point as well.
Yeah.
All right.
Because that. Go ahead.
All right. Yeah. So, I hope you enjoyed this session. Although however slow it may have been. But yeah. Just as a reminder, we play theoretically every other Friday, 7 p.m. CST, 8 p.m. EST. Yeah. I hope you enjoy, and I shall see you all next time. A goodbye.